I'm Elisabeth Elva, and I'm a garment designer for the trekking category at Fjällräven. We launched Kep in 2011, and we have the Kep trouser, we have the Kep gator trouser, and we have the shorts. And that's our trouser series for Kep. But on top of that, we also have the Kep jacket. This is a perfect combination that we have with the trousers. Updating the Kep series, a trekking icon for Fjällräven, was a very big project when we first got it into our hands. So we started first with breaking it down a little bit. What is it that we really want to focus on here? And we really came across 3 parameters that we really wanted to make sure that this project would go into. We wanted to look over the design, we wanted to look over the construction and sustainability. For the Kep program, we really wanted to make sure that the design looked clean and so that it could withstand time. We really wanted to look at functionality number 1. We want to look at how the product has been and can still be timeless and how durable it is. And we do this not only so that the garments last a very long time, but also to minimize the impact that we have on the environment. The more you use the garment, the less impact it has. When we looked at the construction, we thought the most important things were looking over the fits to make them even better in the fit today and to make sure that our fits are still relevant. We also looked at the seam constructions and how we place seams and what we do to make sure that they last you as long as possible. We really thought about how can we minimize the waste that we create in our production. How can we make the patterns so efficient that we have a very high, what is called a Mercury Efficiency. For the sustainability, we really looked over our fabrics, our trims, and all of our details. It is actually a very interesting story to tell that it was in 2011 that we launched the Kep series, and it was one of the first products that we ever used G1000 Echo on. A huge step for Fjällräven that has now spread across most of our range that we have today. The Kep trouser has so many features that I want to talk about, but I'll just go over the highlights with you now. Where we used a lot of our time for the update of the Kep was on the leg ending. We heard from a lot of our users that they either loved it or they hated it. And therefore now we came up with a solution so that it's actually removable with a very easy adjustment. We still have a button strap solution, making you able to make them tighter or wider. On the inside, there are 2 seams that you can take up with a little seam ripper or with a small knife, so that you can remove the leg ending if you so choose, or if it has broken, you can repair it and then thread it again back into your trouser. Same goes actually for the boot hook, which is in here tucked away in a small pocket. We have now attached it to a small webbing, and that kind of has the same function as the removable leg ending. You can both easily now access a repair function here that if the hook breaks, we can easily switch it out and add a new one. Or for those that do not care for it, you easily can remove it from the garment now. In the lower part of the leg, we also have a ventilation, so that above your boot shaft, you're now able to let go of a little bit of heat when you're hiking maybe uphill, or maybe you're going at a little bit faster pace than normal. We've also left a generous space here from the end of the zipper towards the leg ending, so that you can easily adjust the length of the trousers. I also want to mention that they actually come in 2 different lengths. They come in a shorter and a longer version for both men and women. But for you that are on the extreme end of the shorter or the longer, you can now easily adjust them here so that they fit you perfectly. The Kep trouser actually has a lot of history for us here at Fjällräven. It wasn't just the first garment that came in G1000 Echo, it was also one of the first ones that we combined our G1000 material with stretch. And we did that to ensure that it's durable in those areas that it needs to be and can withhold and withstand for a long time. But it's also got stretch in some key areas so that you can have full freedom of movement and that the trouser doesn't hinder you in any way. We have stretch in the top part of the trouser, between the legs in the gusset. We've also made sure to move the inseam away from the center so that the friction never lays on the seam as you walk, but is moved to either side for the front and towards the back. And that's in full stretch, as well as the back of the trouser, both for a little bit more ventilation and for movability, like I mentioned before. The Kep trouser has two generous leg pockets. One that we think for a map or a bigger item, very easily reachable. And on the inside, there's actually a smaller pocket in mesh to keep maybe your phone or your GPS or a similar item in place. And for your secure items, we have a zippered pocket on the left. Again, a very generous pocket that you can keep your items and valuables safe at all times. The knees are not just articulated in this trouser for the best movability possible. They also have a small opening here at the bottom, which allows you to insert a knee pad if you so choose. That can be valuable for those that work a little bit more on the knees when they're outside. But let's move on to the jacket. We have two large chest pockets here, and we've placed them high on your chest so that it doesn't interfere with the hip belt from your backpack while trekking, and your items are accessible at all times. Inside the big chest pockets, we have a smaller mesh pocket to keep in place the smaller items that you want to. We've even added a small loop on the little mesh pocket so that if you have a GPS or something that you want to keep in contact with your jacket to make sure you do not lose it, you can attach it here to the jacket. In the sides, we have a two-way opening zipper for ventilation, so you can choose to open it from the top, from the bottom, or if you want to get rid of a lot of heat but it's a little bit windy, you can place the sliders in the middle for maximum ventilation, but you still keep the jacket together. In the hem of the jacket, we've on both sides added adjustments in the form of draw cords and a stopper. For comfort and for getting rid of excess heat, we have a two-way adjustable zipper in the front. The hood is a generous storm hood, which means that it's deeper than normal hoods, allowing you to feel safe in any kind of wind or snow drift out there. You can also fit a smaller helmet underneath this hood easily and adjust it in the back and in the sides so that it moves with you when you turn your head from side to side. The sleeve end also has not only stretch for better adjustment, but also Velcros so that you can attach it and make it in the right size for your wrist. So just like in the trousers, we have here combined G1000 with stretch material, and we've added most of the stretch material here in the back of the garment, both allowing for better ventilation through the fabric as well as full freedom of movement. So to sum it up, the Cap series isn't just a pair of trousers, but a range of trousers and a jacket. And it's been an honor and a privilege to get to work on updating our tracking icon, and rest assured that that is something that we will continue to do.